This is the plaintiff, Nicole Zanderzak. She says she rented a room in the defendant's house, and the guys turned out to be real weirdos who made her uncomfortable. They wanted her to be their little friend or something, and after they got into a fight, the defendants changed the locks and locked her out. She's owed money by them and is suing for every penny of the $1,450 she's due. These are the defendants, Gary and Marvin. Gary says the plaintiff broke every rule in the house. She ate his food, had her boyfriend practically live with them, and he had to get the locks changed once she moved out because he didn't trust her. Oh, her money? Hardy har har. They're accused of being way too rigid. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $139.58, the amount they're owed for having to change the locks.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Nicole Zanderzak?
Yes.
You are suing for $1,450. That's February and March rent, which you want returned to you. You have a counterclaim against her for having to change the locks. You own the house, but you live in there also? You live in there?
I live in the house. My father owns it.
All right. And how did you decide that you wanted to live there?
I checked out his ad on Craigslist, and I brought my mom there with me, and we talked to him. He seemed very friendly. He had another roommate renting another room there. His name was John, and he was an older man. John was a really cool guy, too, so I figured it didn't seem like that odd of a place to go and live, so I just rented the room.
Okay, and how long were you there before things didn't look so good?
2 days.
Okay. Why? What happened?
I moved in, I was supposed to move in February 1st. I didn't end up moving in until like the 5th because I was waiting for my air mattress to come in the mail, and I didn't really want to sleep on the floor or on the couch. It was kind of weird, you know, I've never lived on my own before, and I didn't want to sleep on his couch and be a burden.
This is the first time you're living on your...
Yeah, on my own.
I didn't want to sleep on the couch and what?
And like be a burden, because like
he said
he was
murdered.
No. He kept telling me like, you can come and stay, like you can move in right away.
How
or whatever.
old are you?
At the time I was 20. I'm 21.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, you could stay on the couch or whatever until your bed comes, but I didn't really know him.
That's
I didn't want to be a burden.
So you moved in on the 5th then? So
I moved in on the 5th, and I got my blow-up mattress. My boyfriend stayed over the first night with me because it was the first night, and I was a little sketched out. And that was the 5th. On the 8th, around 3 o'clock in the morning, I started blowing up my air mattress again because I heard him get a couple text messages, so I knew he was awake. So I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. So I started blowing up my air mattress, and he texted me, like, what, are you drilling a hole in the wall? So I just told him, like, nah, I'm just blowing out my air mattress, yada, yada. So we just started talking.
Why did you have to blow out your air mattress?
I had to blow it up. It loses air after a couple days from sleeping on it. So then the conversation went to, oh, is your boyfriend with you? And I didn't answer him because he wasn't, and he had prior knowledge knowing that my boyfriend was away that weekend. So I was like, whatever, I'm not answering you. I'm trying to go to sleep. So he kept texting me, like, 6 more times. I have all the messages.
Do you have them?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. Let me see them.
Okay.
What kinds of texts was he sending you?
That's where it starts to get weird. This was the 3rd day I was staying here, and these were the messages that I was getting from him at 3 in the morning. So I don't know. I told him I had to blow up my bed a smidgen, and he was like, "Oh, what a fancy word, yada." I was like, "Yeah, I tend to talk like that when I'm a little tipsy." And then he was like, "Oh, so you're tipsy?" He's like, "Is your boyfriend with you? Don't lie." And then he asked me like 6 more times. I didn't answer him. And I was like, "You text me so fast, sorry." I was like, "No, you know he's in Delaware for the weekend." And he's like, "Yeah, you're right." He wrote, "So come hang out with me for 5 minutes and keep me company," at 2:41 in the morning.
Okay.
I've known you for 3 days.
Yeah, I know. I probably wouldn't tell him, well, yeah, I get fancy when I'm tipsy.
And I'm 20.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, it was just weird that maybe I shouldn't have said I was tipsy, but as soon as I stated that, it was like, oh, so you're tipsy. Is your boyfriend here? Oh, he's not. Oh, do you want to hang out? Like, no, I don't.
Hold on.
No, I don't. Okay. So he wrote, "So come hang out with me for 5 minutes, keep me company." I wrote back, "No thanks." He writes, "Tell me a Nikki story." And then he writes, "No thanks, ? LOL, that's not nice." So he wrote, "I wish we could just be friends sometimes and not make it something that it's not. I'm asking in a completely innocent way." And I wrote, "It's 3 a.m., haha." So we just kept going back and forth.
Did you guys end up being weird about it the next day? Was it uncomfortable?
Well,
or
no, I'm very upfront, so I expressed to him that, like, this is a line that you don't cross. Like, I don't even know you, and I'm not comfortable coming to hang out with you at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what you do, but I wake up at 8 o'clock and have to go to work till 6, and then I have school from 6 to 11. I don't have time to come entertain you.
Yeah, that's
and
why
tell
I
you
would
a
have just
story.
answered, sorry, I didn't mean to be noisy. I was blowing up the mattress.
Yeah, and that was understood. We got past that. Then he wanted to make small talk, and I'm still kind of trying to be nice, but then he kind of took it somewhere that I wasn't comfortable with, and I wanted to let him know, like, I'm not okay with that. Don't continue.
All right. Why is it that you want February and March rent back, though? What is it that went wrong that you feel that you deserve to have February back and that March, which I know you weren't there for, you want back?
Okay, stuff maybe I shouldn't bring up in court because it was his personal life that I experienced him bringing it out of the house. So that was another thing.
You didn't tell me anything.
Then I did
don't
a
know what you're
background.
saying.
I don't know if I.
You can choose what you want to say. I'm just
Your
saying
Honor.
you have a case.
I don't want to bring up his personal information.
Okay,
But I also
well.
did a background check on him because he lied to me about his name. So I do a background check on him, and I find out that he not only lied to me about his name, but he failed to tell me that he's a level 1 sex offender. And he probably
over the
should have told me
paperwork.
that before I moved in.
Everything she just came out of this mouth is she's a liar, she's a manipulator, and you should not listen
No,
to
don't
anything
talk.
that she
I won't,
says.
sorry. Okay.
Okay? First of all, the reason why I asked about her boyfriend being there and what the hell's going on in that room is because her boyfriend was there almost every other day. He was practically living there, and she would take advantage of that. She would break every single rule.
Excuse me.
That's the problem that we have here. She would make tons of noise in the room like she just indicated. She would eat all the food in the house, whether it was hers or not.
Get that phone that I asked you for 5 minutes ago. I want those texts. Hand it to my bailiff. Go ahead.
You know, and I don't appreciate her saying that things about me which are completely untrue.
Okay,
Because I
rather
know a
than
lot of stuff about her,
pontificating, give me
too.
facts.
I mean, this is
Okay, so tell me what it
Your
is
Honor, let
she
me ask you a
broke.
question. If she felt this strongly about me, why did she not only stay that month, but offered to give me money to stay for the second month? I'd like that answered
What, can you
in open
just tell
court.
your story first, and then we'll get to what you want her to answer? So she moves in on February 5th, and what happened in the middle of the night at 3 in the morning that caused the text exchange? You were
Because she was
hearing
making noise, and I was asking, she's turning it around into something that it's not.
So can you please tell me what it is? Don't forget about her. Now I want your version.
All right?
Go ahead.
There was noise in the room, so I was asking her if her boyfriend was with her or what is going on in the room.
Oh,
That's
because you
what I
thought
wanted
that
to
was the
know.
noise.
It wasn't just that. It was the fact that I have a thing in my rule, which is that if you have somebody stay, they can stay over only 4 times during the month. Or if you stay over longer than that, you're taking advantage because it's 2 electricity, 2 showers, 2 everything. It's like
Okay,
somebody's
is that
living there.
actually in your lease?
It is.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
All right, so go on.
So I asked her, is her boyfriend there? And she didn't answer. And that's why I kept asking, is your boyfriend? Because that's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. That's why I was asking, not because of what she just said. Had nothing to do with it. I want to know if her boyfriend was there. That's what that was about. And lo and behold, only a few days later, her boyfriend's there. Her boyfriend's there again. I'm like, this is 1 night. This is 2 nights. This is 3 nights. And that's what all the arguments were about, on top of the fact that she was eating all the food and everything else.
Tell me about eating all the food and everything else.
Well, one of the things that she would do, and that I would do, Your Honor, is that on the orange juice, for example, I would actually take a Sharpie and put it around the plastic bottle so I can see where I left it. And then what she would do is she would make the line thicker or put a new line. And I know it seems ridiculous, but it's...
No, it's those little things that make you nuts.
You know what I mean? So that, and I would always come in and then she'd put new lines and say, why would you put a line here? She'd write little notes for me.
Do you have any pictures of any of that? No.
No, I don't. I apologize. I
No,
didn't show
it's
you
all
a
right.
picture
How
of a
long did she
hamster
live there total?
She lived there for 1 month and like a few days.
And why did she pay March? She moved out before March, right?
Yes. What happened
Or
is
no?
she moved in, and she said, and she broke all these different rules with her boyfriend staying there and everything else. And then I got into an argument with her, and I said, you know, what do you want to do? And she said, I'm sorry, I'll straighten myself out. I won't play
What
these
did you
games
say to her
anymore."
during the argument? That she was what? You can't have a boyfriend staying every day, and what
Right.
else?
The food, you can't continue to eat the food here, and the noise.
And the noise was when? Under what circumstances?
As she said, she was blowing up her bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, she could do it any time during the day or in the evening when she gets home from work, but to wait till 3 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why she did it at 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's when her boyfriend would sneak into the house. That's what that was about.
Okay. The joy of texting. I'm so stuck on the text where you're telling her, where she's saying she wants you to meet her mom, you know, before she takes the apartment, and you're like, oh my God, I'm not a deranged lunatic with an axe.
But you did lie to me.
I didn't lie to you,
Oh,
Benny.
excuse me. You need to understand that you are not driving the train that is my courtroom. So unless I ask you a question, there's no reason for you to give shout-outs. Okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
What present arrived? This is all before she even moves in, and there's a series of texts back and forth where you're both being friendly to each other. I mean, I don't think it was, he's trying to be your friend and you're saying he's crossing a boundary. It's like you're giving advice and stuff to each other. What was the present that arrived?
It was my air mattress. It was him letting me know
that your air mattress
I could
got there.
stay there tonight. And he was like, so because it arrived, you're going to stay here?
No, it's a little worse than that. So that's it. You don't have any more excuses. Your blank anatomy part should be sleeping here tonight. I mean, you want to keep it as a landlord or you want to keep it as a friend? You should be. She hasn't even physically moved in yet. Why aren't you staying here? Why are you so mean to me? I thought we were friends. Why do you keep telling me to calm down like I'm a ranting and raving lunatic? I'm quite calm right now. You should be nicer to me. And she's explained that she just can't be on the phone texting back. Oh, Nikki, you're so fine. Blow my mind, la, la, la.
I'm a DJ, Your Honor, so that
Okay,
it was just
it's
making
cute.
jokes. It was,
I know, but it's like if my landlord was talking to me like that, I may say, oh, maybe my landlord's kind of into me. I don't know.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if a landlord comes on to a tenant, is that grounds for the tenant to say, I am out of here, I want my security back, I'm breaking the lease?
Absolutely. Sexual harassment, she has a right to get out of it.
Okay, what do you say?
I think if it happens one time, it's not a big deal, but if it's ongoing and she tells him to stop, then I think it's grounds for breaking the lease.
Twice?
Twice is one time too many.
Oh, so 2 times?
Yeah.
Okay, you get 1 pass.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I say about twice as well. Too many times. 3rd time, strike out. No chance.
Well, wait a minute, now you just went to 3.
Yes.
Going inside the courtroom.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're having a very stressful day. It still isn't the 5th. I'm sorry to hear you're having a very stressful day. I'm very good at giving massages, which would probably calm you down. But I don't think Jesse, who's Jesse, the boyfriend?
Yes.
I don't think Jesse would appreciate that. Yeah, he probably wouldn't. And it's probably not appropriate for you to say. Look at your dad's. Your dad's not liking this. I understand what you say. I think you're a cool person. I don't just consider you a tenant, but more of a friend. I'm sorry if that's a bit much. And every time she calls you on it and says she's not comfortable with it, you say, well, you're reading too much into it, but I'm reading it and it doesn't sound so good.
Thank you.
This is all before she sleeps there the first night. Did you like her?
Not
She's
in
kind of
that way.
cute.
Not in that way.
Are you sure? Because it looked like you did.
It was more about the fact that she was a cool person. That's why, because I have to get along with this person. We're all living in the same house.
Yeah, but you don't have to text at 3 in the morning. And you don't have to chit-chat. And you don't have to ask her to come and keep you company for 5 minutes because her boyfriend's out there and she's tipsy. Okay? This looked like a little more than the average thing.
There's more to that story than just what you read by text messages. She's
So tell
also
me.
calling me. She's also talking to me in
Okay.
between that.
So
you're
she's
getting
showing,
bits and
so
pieces.
according to you, she's showing interest in you.
Well, she's showing interest as a friend. I'll give her that. She never showed interest the other way, and I don't believe I did either, but I'm very friendly. I'm very outgoing.
As friendly as anybody may be, it would never occur to me to ask somebody, hey, is your girlfriend there? Why don't you come 5 minutes and keep me company because I heard you're tipsy at 3 in the morning.
I can understand how a person could take that.
Oh, yeah, but it doesn't take a big stretch or a fuddy-duddy to jump to that conclusion, okay? When do you give him March rent?
I gave it to him. He asked for it on the 20th because that's when I got paid. So I think I gave it to him the 20th or the 21st.
Why didn't you wait until March 1st?
Because he put a note on my door on the 20th asking if I could. He said that he was having a little bit of trouble with the DJ business. He didn't have that much money, and he was asking if I could pay rent early. He would knock off $50 off of next month's rent, and then I would get another 4 days for my boyfriend to sleep over. So 8 days total of that month, and $50 off my next bill if I pay him early.
Okay.
So I'd be
True or
helping him
not
out.
true?
He'd be helping me.
That's true so far. I'm listening.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so I think I gave it to him that same night as the note, and that was it. We were done. So then
Tell me about what blew up where you just decided I can't live here and you left.
we got into a fight over I think orange juice and more other stuff, and then the fight got really blown out of proportion. A lot of name calling went back and forth. Then I found out his real name. That's initially why I'm moving out.
Okay, so now.
Because of all the warnings.
What day did you find out his real name?
On the, I think either the 20th night or the 21st morning.
How did you find it out?
the other roommate, John, and I have three
Did
statements.
John tell you?
He said.
How did he say it? What did he say?
Me and John used to talk a lot. We got pretty close or whatever, and I was like, did you know that Greg's name is not Greg? And he was like, yeah, I know, it's Gary. And I was like, how did you know that? And
How did you know to ask him that question? Mom, stop coaching her. I'm getting sick of watching it. Go. She's fine without you. Go ahead. No, you don't have to step away. Just stop whispering in her ear.
When me and him got into a fight or whatever, he blurted his name out to me, and I was like, what? And it kind of caught me off guard because I was so mad. So
that's an answer. So then you said to John, hey, did you know, what's going on? And what did he say?
And he was like, yeah, I knew that. And I was like, how did you find out? And he was like, oh, I did some snooping. So I was like, oh, what do you mean? What did you find out? And he was like, I think you need to go Google his name for yourself. So I went and Googled his name. That paper that I showed you is what I found out.
What paper?
The one from the schools. And that was the last straw. Besides feeling awkward there the whole month I lived there, everything started making sense. I would have never honestly moved in.
Is your name Gary or Greg?
My name is Gary. My DJ name is Greg. Only my family members call me Gary, and it's not because of anything that she's saying. She's making this...
Are you a level 1 offender?
Why is that relevant to the case, Your Honor? Why is any of that relevant to the case? This is about rent, correct?
I take it that would be a yes, right?
This is about rent.
Yeah, let me just explain something to you. I have a right to know if somebody I'm moving in with who's texting me at 3 in the morning suggestive things is a level 1 sex offender. I have a right to know that. Okay? She has a right to know that. How can you seriously ask, why is any of this relevant? Seriously? You don't think she has a right to say, yeah, on second thought, I don't want to stay in March. If you had returned March rent, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
But you had to keep March rent, too. Return March rent. Your counterclaim against her to change locks. What is that about?
That's because when she had just left one morning, I didn't even know where she went or what she did or where she was going. I just woke up one morning and there was nothing there. There was no keys or anything. So I have this girl running around with my keys to my house. I couldn't even leave my house. I felt trapped in my house because she could just come. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I called her up. She didn't answer. I texted. She didn't answer. I tried to get a hold of her mother. Your mother finally answered. Oh, we'll get there when we get there.
Oh, so you knew she had moved out, though?
At that point, I knew she moved out, but I just wanted the keys back to my house.
Why didn't you return the keys?
As I was moving out, he was totally aware that I was moving out. I didn't leave the keys because I wanted my mother there as a witness, because I've never done this before. I wanted to make sure my back was covered. I wanted a statement right here saying that the room was returned the same way that I rented it. I gave the keys back, and then I'm going to be getting March's rent money back. I didn't want to get taken advantage of.
Why didn't you get your act together at the time that you're moving out so that you can return the keys right when you're moving out?
I did.
I wanted my mom there. Well, Mom needs to drop what she's doing and go there. If you need Mom, then, you know, why did he have to wait for the keys, and how long did he have to wait for the keys?
He had to wait not even an hour, and he knew about all of this.
An hour?
Not even an hour.
Wait, an hour?
Not even an hour.
Why would I pay money? Come on.
Because you got a problem with her and you don't want her to have keys. I would change my locks every time somebody had it. Yeah, we're done. We're done on the counterclaim 0 on the plaintiff's claim against the defendant, $750.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, both sides, hold on, my dude, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you tell me
I can't even say anything. It's okay.
All right, so the judge awards, the judge awards half what the plaintiff sued for, but not everything. All right, and your reaction to the outcome here?
Justice wasn't served today. You have a person that makes up stories, and there's so many things that didn't even get mentioned. The fact that I found her boyfriend sleeping in her room for several days only because I knocked on the door. So many things that weren't even mentioned.
Were you testing the waters a little bit with her when she first moved in?
No, not at all. That's completely blown up out of proportion. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so you didn't get everything you sued for. You had to pay February because you lived there in February, but you get March back.
Okay, yes.
All right, you satisfied with how this comes out?
Yeah, to a degree. I'm just happy I got my money back, honestly.
So what have you learned from all this?
Not to be so trusting.
Yeah, definitely not be so trusting.
That's what you learned, or that's what?
To do a better background check and not to take somebody being friendly as.
Are you living back with your mom now?
No, I have another place.
Anything you want to say to her? Last words here?
No, I'm very proud of the way she handled herself, and she has to stand up for herself, and I'm glad that it turned out this way.
All right, Harvey?
Okay, you know, the law is not clear on this, but if a registered sex offender rents a room to a tenant, a lot of judges would say there is a duty to disclose that to the tenant. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.